Is it just about fitness? Now, a couple of years back, I started yoga. I tried the yoga thing. That's a warrior two. Believe me, my warrior two never looked like that. Not ever, okay? So, but just because my body is not as fit as his, my warrior two is not as great as his, does it mean it's just a fit person's thing? Or what about all the retreats? I love a retreat. I love a resort. I love the luxurious meals and all of that. Is it just for the people that can afford that luxury retreat or that resort? Because if there's a retreat somewhere, please sign me up. I am ready to go, okay? But is self-care just for those that can afford that? Do you all think that? I don't either. I believe that self-care goes way beyond that. And that's a narrow portrayal we often see splashed across social media and advertising. It's not the sole domain of luxury fitness enthusiasts or those in search of a temporary getaway. It's about ensuring that we all, regardless of our lifestyle, regardless of our body type, regardless of our gender, regardless of our race, that we all really care and do self-nurturing for us. So to me, self-care is a human thing. That's what it is. So if it's a human thing, that means it's for everybody in this room, your friends, your family. You know those people you don't like? It's for them too. All right? So self-care is for everybody. And it's fundamentally a human endeavor. We all deserve it, and we all can benefit both in our careers and in our personal life. Does that make sense? We all on the same page. So that means this is for everyone. So if somebody says that's not for me, or self-care, that's something I don't really think about or do. It's for all of us. And today, this is all about you, guys. So we're going to talk about you and keep me on track. This is our agenda for the day. Self-care is for everybody. We're going to talk about what it is, why it's important, the benefits, the sixth dimension of wellness, and probably why a lot of you are here. You're going to take a self-care assessment today. So you're going to find out your status in regards to self-care. And then we'll have a little time for Q&A at the end. Were you with me?
Yes.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Let's go. Okay. Would you say that most of us are trying to live a successful life? Right? That's what it's about. What's this meeting called? What's it called? Business success. Okay. So success is really important. So we're going to get on the same page and we're going to have that common understanding that we are all trying to have a successful life. Now, success could be different for each of us and what that looks like, but we all are moving towards success, right? On our own terms. Now, have you all ever heard of Dr. Anita Phillips? Anybody heard that name before? She's a therapist and an author. She wrote the book, The Garden Within. You might have seen her on Oprah's Soulful Sundays. What she has done, she has researched deeply into the essence of what we call a fulfilling life. And she talks about these three categories as life zones. According to her, our collective journey towards success can be distilled down into these three interconnected elements: our relationships, your purpose, and your legacy. And we know some people in here that work with people about legacy and purpose and financial planning and getting people on the right page, right? We've got people in the room who do this, all right? So let's break this down a little bit more. Purpose. Purpose kind of sounds a little bit lofty, don't you? My purpose. What am I here for? But really, it's all about your why. Your why. Why do you get up? It's about identifying a need that you fulfill and how we perform with enthusiasm makes you happy when you do it. And it links you to the rest of us in humanity. And then there's the legacy. When we think of legacy, we might think of finances or what we might leave, or we might think of our children or our downline. But what if none of that exists for you? I like to say legacy is this. You as a person showed up and you left a place better than what you found it. And it lives on and on and on. That's a legacy as well. And then today we're going to talk about those relationships, because we talk about self-care, right? So today, relationships is the focus of all those three categories, or what we're going to talk about today. So relationships. There are three really big categories that we navigate with relationships. Dr. Phillips outlines them well. She says that our connection with greater presence, be it the spiritual realm, the universe, or your own interpretation of what you might think that might be. And then the relationships with others, our family, our friends, our colleagues. And then there's the relationship with self. Now, as a life coach, as a mom, as a friend, and as a sister, I have found out the relationship with self is very important, but it seems to be the most neglected one. I see some heads shaking. I can raise my hand to that as well. But even though it's the neglected one, it's really the most important one, because it's the relationship that connects you and informs all the other relationships. Does that make sense? So it's important for you to have a relationship with yourself. And that's why self-care is so vital. It's the link that supports and strengthens the other links in the chain of our relationships. Does that make sense? Okay, let's talk about relationship with self. What she tells us, there are three criteria or requirements to have a healthy, operative word, healthy relationship with yourself. And let's talk a little bit about each one of those. Self-awareness, self-love, and then finally self-care. Self-awareness, what's that about? That's about tuning into your own needs, your own desires, your own wants, understanding your strengths, owning them, your strengths, and recognizing your weaknesses as well. It's about being mindful about our emotions and our behavior, and aligning our actions with our values, and being accountable when they don't line up. And then there's self-love. And self-love is that affirming voice inside of us that reminds us of our worth and our value. It's about giving ourselves grace. Give yourself a break. Even when we make mistakes, it's okay. We're going to be all right. And then celebrating our victories. A lot of people do a lot of wonderful things, but they never stop to celebrate it, whether it's big or whether it's small. So I want to, and this voice also encourages us to embrace our imperfections. Everybody got some flaws. It's all right. We out here doing the best we can, right? It's okay. And then finally, self-care. I like her definition of self-care. She says it's the proactive choice to tend to your mental, your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual well-being. That's pretty holistic, right? That's all of it. It's about taking action to nurture. There's that word again, nurture. Nurturing ourselves, not just when we're on the edge of burnout, but as a regular practice. And I'm going to talk about self-care on a regular basis as we go on. Each of these elements plays a critical role how we show up in the world and in our pursuit of success, because that's what we talked about. We're here for success, right? And when we prioritize self-care, we're not being indulgent. People tell you, you're so selfish because you're taking a little time for yourself. We're equipping ourselves to meet the challenges of our lives. And there's some challenges out there today, y'all. You know, we ain't in the pandemic, but it's some uncertainty that we live with every day. But it helps us equip to meet the challenges of our lives and resilience and strength. It's the practice of self-care that keeps the other aspects of our relationships healthy and thriving. So, self-care, we all on the same page? Success, it's about the relationship with self. Okay, it's important. So, what is it? What is that self-care? I like to say it's your mindset. Whenever anybody thinks about something, it's about your mindset, right? That's our thoughts, our mindset. So the concept of self-care reflects the general attitude towards yourself, an attitude of believing you deserve kindness from yourself, and you are able to provide it to yourself through your thoughts. And that key word there to me is action. Okay, you can think about it, but if you don't do it, that's nice, but it just didn't happen. So through your thoughts and through your actions, it's about making you a priority by taking the time. I don't have time for that. Too busy. What you mean? I got to go over here and do this. There's no time in my day for this. I do it on the weekend. Self-care Sunday. Okay. And commit to giving yourself what you need to be happy, healthy, and fully present. It's also intentionally choosing to nurture, that word again, yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually, not after the burnout. You see that word? Not after the burnout. Okay, so that means we being what? Proactive or before the breaking point. Burnout or the breaking point, but before the breaking point. So you want to be proactive with self-care, not reactive. If we have to be reactive, fine. But we want to get to a place where we're proactive. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, what in the world is going on? There was a time when I was working, I felt just like that flower look. I was burned all the way out. That's the way I felt. And when I did this presentation years back, that's what I decided to put there because that's how I felt. Now, you might not be feeling that way, but you might know somebody that's feeling that way. You don't have to say, I feel that way, or I have felt that way. I'm going to say, I have felt that way. And there's one reason and one reason only that I felt that way, the big one. Stress. There's workplace stress, and there's non-related workplace stress. Anybody ever feeling some stress? Workplace stress. Yeah, we all feeling that thing going. Okay, what is it? First, there's workplace stress. Many of us spend significant portion of our lives working. You know, whether you're working at home, whether you're working in the office, whether you're going, means you have to go throughout the day in the field, but you're working, right? And we face those deadlines. We deal with complex tasks. We navigate office dynamics, whether it's through the Teams or whether it's live. The emails keep coming. They don't stop. You got projects that have to be perfect and the constant juggle of responsibilities. Make you feel a little kind of certain kind of way, trying to get all that done. And then there's non-work-related stress. This is the part of us that we might not show at work. This is the part, but it still exists within us. It's below the surface. There could be health concerns. There could be family responsibilities, family dynamics. There was one time I was taking care of, I have 4 adult children. I had 2 at home. One was a high school, and I was responsible for my mother in another state and a great aunt in another state. So I was juggling the family, and I had a pretty significant job at CU. Even now, as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs, they have a lot of stuff. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done a lot of the times, correct? Okay, so, but you got family and responsibilities and things that happen that we have to do. So, and we have financial pressures. Is the inflation going to go down? Is the interest rates going to keep going up? If there's real estate, if you're dealing with real estate, am I going to be able to sell because of the fact that the interest rates are still high? You know, what is going on from a financial perspective? All my bankers, they know. They dealing with it every day, correct? Financial planners, you know, trying to make the best decisions for people, right? And so those are all the things that we are dealing with. And then if you don't manage that stress, that leads to burnout. Burnout's so big that the World Health Association defined it, put a name to it. This is the definition: a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic, continuous workplace that has not been successfully managed. Keywords: has not been successfully managed. We're just going through the motions over and over again, right? So I want to give you some numbers, some data. This is 2024. This is not during the pandemic. This is what they say. I feel burned out at work, either very often or always. That is significant. 26% of the people in the workforce right now in 2024 feel burned out all the time or most of the time. How does that land for you? If that's not you, you know somebody who it is that's dealing with this, right? To me, that's a big number. That's 1 in 4. That's 1 in 4 people that are saying they're always and very often burned out, right? So a lot of people say, okay, you burned out, take a vacation. Take one. How you feel when you take a vacation? When you came back? When you came back from the vacation? Yeah. You know, you got all those pretty pictures in your phone. You know you were there, right? You know you were there. You know, when you walk through the door, bam, it's like, that disappeared real quickly, just like that. Well, you know what? The numbers say it too. This is what the number, I read these stats, I said, oh my goodness. It said that for those who believe a vacation will get it done, they say that 34% of employed American workers report that burnout typically sets in immediately, soon as they walk through the door, returning from their time off. While 50% say it took a week, but it's gone. You know? So vacations are great. I'm not saying, are you saying, Lord, don't take it back? No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying take your vacation, take your staycation, take whatever you need to take, get away. But that's not just the only thing. We need self-care more than just for a little bit of time. We need self-care all of the time. That's why I'm trying to say that. Does that make sense? Okay. And what they say is over time, chronic stress can erode the quality of life, making it difficult to enjoy the daily activities and manage everyday responsibilities effectively. Recognizing the impact of stress, both from our work and personal lives, is clear we need a solid strategy. Here we go now. We're getting ready to get into it. We need a solid strategy to prevent the spiral of burnout. So, why is it important to have that? Because self-care helps you better cope with the daily stressors, and it will help you clarify and prioritize what's important to you. Did you see that word, daily stressors? So if you take a vacation and you think that's going to fix it, but you get back, that vacation gone. You think you might need something else to help supplement that feeling of thriving, not just surviving, right? Okay. It brings balance daily to a life that may have grown in balance due to many commitments or responsibility. That's what self-care does for us. It brings balance to our really stressed out lives. And it's essential to function well in your everyday life. It's essential. It's a necessity. It's not an extra. It's not a luxury. It's really that helps what makes us tick. And you deserve it. You deserve the time for you. You deserve the time to take it out and have self-care for you. You deserve that. And it helps us be your best human being not a human just always doing. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, even though Stephen Covey got in on the act, Mr. Highly 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, his habit number 7, he says, it's preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, you. Back to you now. Back to your relationship with yourself. He said it. And it's about nurturing the goose. I'll be the goose because that goose is laying some golden eggs. I'll be that all day long, okay? That lays the golden eggs, which is the essence of effectiveness. So what is the essence of effectiveness? When I read that, I go like, what is that? What is the essence of effectiveness? Well, the essence of effectiveness is when you are able to do something today and you can do it tomorrow as well. Okay? It's sustainable, whatever you are creating, whatever you are doing. Okay, does that make sense? So there we have that. So, okay, y'all with me that we need self-care? Yes. Do you think it's more than a vacation? So what are we going to do about it? Where do we begin? Well, it means taking responsibility for your well-being in all areas of your life, all the areas, all the dimensions that exist for us. It's also about wellness is an all-inclusive experience in your life. And it's the key to being, and the key to being well is to honor each role and dimension plays in your life. So we're going to talk about those 6 dimensions. Now, this is where the rubber's going to meet the road, okay? First, there's your physical wellness. Everybody's kind of familiar with that, right? Everybody knows we need to be healthy, which pertains to our body, which is what we need to live, move, and breathe. And then there's your emotional, how you feel. Feelings like love, sadness, care, and how you in a relationship with self and just not others. Does that make sense? And then intellectual, how you think. That might not be your job at all. That might be your hobbies. That might be just the things you love to do, like read. You know, that's your, and things that you do to grow, learn and grow. And then there's the social part of us, how we interact with others, mutually rewarding relationships, community, and our earth. And then here's your job or your career, occupational, how you perform, your drive to succeed. Do you have a meaningful calling? What are you really good at? Your personal mastery. Are you doing that? Your talents. And last but not least, the spiritual, how we view the world, the essence of who you are that connects to your purpose and what gives our life meaning. Now, the 6 dimensions, if kept in a healthy balance, generally predict a higher level of wellness. So what does balance look like? Well, guess what? Balance is unique to you. There's no standard. There's no comparison. It's what you like, because self-care is about you. So it's what makes it work for you. So what I do is I have this philosophy about life, and I use it in my practice of coaching. And I like to say that life is like a garden. Creating a beautiful life is like creating a beautiful garden. And there's 3 things that go in to creating that beautiful garden. And I call it seeding, weeding, and feeding. There's more that goes into it, but those are the 3 things I use. And those things, I talk about them because they create a growth mindset. And remember when I talked about it a little bit before, that self-care is about your mindset, and that's where you start. And so when you want to start to create habits, these self-care habits, I like to take the seeding, the weeding, and the feeding approach. Like, first of all, seeding activities that nourish your growth. That's specific to you, what you like. Doesn't matter what your friend likes. Doesn't matter what your sister likes. Doesn't matter. It's what you like. And then weeding out those habits of well-being. What are those thoughts? I don't have time. That's a big one. I have time for that. I've got to do this over here. So weeding out those thoughts or those limiting beliefs, and then feeding your life with practices that enhance your unique journey. So Seeding, weeding, and feeding what's unique to you to create the self-care habits that you enjoy and what you need, because it's all about you, right? All right. So with that being said, we want to talk about the benefits of self-care. Flourishing. It improves our cognitive ability, helps to focus better and have better concentration. I know that to be true. Because when I didn't do self-care activities, I had fog thinking. Fog, you know, the fog brain, where you kind of just walking through the day. Yeah. But this, one of the benefits is improving cognitive ability. Research shows that the cortisol, the stress hormone, can wreak havoc on your body, leading to that foggy thinking, fatigue, pessimism, weight gain, and even substance abuse. Fortunately, science says that the antidote is taking time for self-care. Science says this. That's not woo-woo. This is research. They said that the antidote to that is self-care. Numerous studies show simple activities that can lead to marked improvement of overall well-being. It improves your ability to focus and concentrate. It also improves your immunity and makes you less susceptible to stress and anxiety. And in the long term, you can see the benefits such as lower blood pressure. That would be me. I used to have a cocktail. You know, when you had more than one pill you had to take to reduce your blood pressure, I kicked the one to the curb. I just got one now, under doctor advisement, of course. But that's what self-care did for me. It reduced and, you know, got rid of some of the medication that I used to have to be on. So it's real. It's not, you know, something out there. I am a person that got better with, I'm trying to get rid of that last one. I'm working on it. I hadn't got rid of the last one yet, but I am working on it. And then it increases our energy and our capacity to give more to others. It also makes us better caretakers. Now, I like to talk about Professor Tyler J. Vanderweel. I'm probably really butchering his name, but he is the director of Harvard's Human Flourishing Program. He says it's living the good life. That's what flourishing is. We usually think about flourishing as a living in a state in which all aspects of the person's life are good. It's an all-encompassing notion. So, living the good life to me, based on my research, my observations with my clients, my own life, it's like living a balanced life within the 6 dimensions of wellness. Okay, now what you all came for. No more yakking for me. We're getting ready to do the self-care assessment. I have like paper copies and I have on the board. Which one would you all prefer? Paper, the ones here? Would you like to have your own copy of your self-assessment? Okay. Margo, can you help me hand them out on this side? Okay. Okay, you need some more?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 For those online, for those online, you can take the test as well. So let me tell you a little bit about this test before you get started. First of all, there's no wrong answer or right answer. There's just your answer. There's 10 questions in each one. The highest you can get on is 40. That's usually not the case. I've never seen one yet. That, you know, and some of these things you might not even be interested in. And some things you might be interested in might not be on here. So it's not like totally comprehensive, but it really is a good starting point to kind of think about your self-care needs. All right? This will take about 5 or 10 minutes. And I will move the slide for the people that are online to make sure that they can take the test as well. Yeah, total. Yeah, total each of the sections, please. Okay. Take your time. Yeah. We value in for each of the ones and then total up the sections. I think we've got a couple more minutes left. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, you can field questions while the last few are finishing their test.
Okay. So, did that test resonate with anybody? I've given this test to hundreds of people. They go, "Oh my God!" It does it really resonate with what's going on in your life right now? Does anybody feel encouraged enough to like tell me what they did good in? I just want the section you did good in, where you did the best, because we're only comparing it to ourselves. We're not comparing it to anybody else. So, how did you do overall, and how did you do in that one area? What'd you do good in?
Then as I went in deeper, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because we pay so much attention to physical self-care, but there's other parts of us that deserve attention too. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so what area, and each one of these activities on here, those are actually self-care activities. So we try to make self-care so big, so big. Self-care can be really small. Okay. And it doesn't have to take a long time, just a little bit. Okay. Now, anybody want to be brave and tell us what area they want to pay more attention to? We don't have to have that score. We just want to pay more attention to it. Okay. Anybody? Okay.
I was very low on social self-care. That makes sense. Don't ask for help. But, it really brought to light why I feel lonely a lot, but I'm around other people. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. I'm what's the point? And so it's kind of highlighted that.
It highlighted that.
I'll piggyback on hers. The social one was probably the lower one. Just having 4 kids in the business and so much that goes around.
Right.
And so, I think a lot of times I give to others, and I don't have time for myself, or time to make time for outside fun activities.
Yeah, fun for you with other people. Fun for you. It's about the kids. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I've been there. Yeah. Okay. Margot, you said.
Which I think I knew about myself doing this. Just puts it more in focus, emotional self-care, because occupational was really high, so it makes sense to me taking time off and decompressing. I need to probably focus on more.
Yeah, and and a lot of people. I needed that. I think that's why I went into this coaching thing because I needed that as well. They say your weakness is what becomes your strength. And so that's a big one. That was me too. Yeah. I was big on occupational. Get it done. Yeah. But my emotion was in the toilet. Yeah, but yeah. Okay. And that we find that a lot to be with people that are professionals and go-getters and high achievers and hyperachievers and all of that. We're going. Okay. All right. So was this helpful?
Yes.
Yeah. It gave you a starting point, didn't it? Right? So really, is there any questions about anything I said? Questions at all? Comments?
Well, I think the action, as far as those low ones, and being able to know what those activities are so that you can kind of focus on those.
Right.
So vacation and also distractions with the phone and everything. Yeah. Okay. I marked that one low because too many distractions with the phone.
That's not enough for it.
Yeah.
Another room.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Right. True. Yeah. And please not at the dinner table. But yeah. But that's kind of has become an extension of us. And we have to be intentional because self-care isn't intentional. It's not just happen to do it. Making yourself a priority is really intentional. Okay. and making a difference, because you know what? It's about you. And that some people go like, no, it's not about me, especially when you got 4 children. You know, no, it's never about me. Yeah, it has to be about you, because you're the one that cares for those individuals. And I used to always, you know, when I worked up at CU, I'd be up there late some nights, you know, like, and my biggest fear was, if I was up here late and something happened to me, who would know? They wouldn't know till the next, well, my kids would know, you know, and those would be the ones that get hurt the most. Okay. So it is about you, you know, and how you show up and what you do for you so you can give for others. You can't, you know, that's saying, everybody hears it. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't even pour from a half-filled cup. And you can't give something that you don't have given yourself. And we have a hard time giving to ourselves. But you deserve it, because it's a human thing. All right? And we're all just trying to do the best that we can. That makes sense? Okay. So, no more questions? Answers? Okay. This is how you can get in touch with me if you want to know a little bit more about self-care. I do have my book back there. I do affirmation subscription. You can take the QRC code that'll get you to my website. That's my email address. And that's my website, growwithlaurochelle.com. Okay. So if you want to know a little bit more. With that, I always leave something, a gift that because thank you. I just want to thank you for being here and giving me your attention, first of all. It really means a lot for me as well. So I want to give you this parting gift from me to you about a reminder of what we talked about nurturing yourself.
Nurture, meaning to care for and encourage the growth or development of. Cherish. Nurture yourself. Nurture yourself with gentleness, love, and kindness. Embrace the beautiful blend of mind, body, heart, and soul that makes you uniquely you. Take time for self-care, affirming your heart with loving words of positivity. Cherish your body with rest, care, and nourishment for a vibrant life. Expand the wonders of your mind, embracing new knowledge and skills fearlessly. Tuning to your soul's purpose, aligning with your divine path. This journey of self-nurturing is not selfish, but an everlasting love, a healthy dose of self-love. Embrace the satisfaction guaranteed only by you. Remember, you are worthy of love and care, and nurturing yourself is a beautiful act of self-preservation.
Well, I hope you